worked at a few different manufacturers, and there were three components that came down to it. One was engineering and quality. Deutsche was above on every one of those. Customer service and partnership. When we look at a vendor, we look at partnerships. So Deutsche really became a partner with us. And customer service. It doesn't hurt that you're a half hour down the road from us and a few of your people live near us, so that kind of works, but the customer service is absolutely phenomenal. And then pricing, honestly, is from a business standpoint, you guys gave us the best offer. So everything turned out great and we're super happy with it. It has to go back to design. So I've been involved with the Lost Worlds project since day one. And I actually got to help design the system. So in my 26 plus years of professional brewing, I've pulled things from different places, different systems, different scenarios. So I got to be involved with that. And there were things that when I went back to your team at Deutsche about, it was, oh, that's a great idea. We're gonna start offering that from now on. So is that doing that and being able to, rakes in the mash tun. Like I said, I've been a brewer for so many years. I've never had rakes in the mash tun. I love them. Everything about it, honestly, everything's really great. Are continuing to make really good beer. That's something we focus on. Being a little innovative, trying new things. I'm more of a traditional brewer, traditionally trained, but I have a young brewer that helps me, and he has the wheels moving on certain things. Just continuing to grow and continuing to put out great beer. I mean, that's the goal. We picked this location. Everything we do is on purpose. Everything we do, we research greatly on, which you should. And we looked at a few different locations. We got this one for a few reasons. Number one, it's got a huge parking lot in the back. It's got parking behind us. We have another parking lot behind that. There's tons of food places around us. We're a quarter mile off a major highway. And then the beer garden area. So we have a 3,000 square foot beer garden that originally was parking spaces. And our landlord said, well, you guys could use that if you want. We said, yes. So we have 3,000 square feet there. And then when we do special events about 6 to 8 times a year out back, like markets, we get 40, 50 vendors in, food trucks, bands, and we use our back parking lot for that too. But we also just put up a huge tent out there for the winter, and we'll keep it up throughout the year. We'll take the sides off of it. But in the spring and summer and fall, it gets packed out there. Sessionability. So as a portfolio, we want to have a diverse portfolio of what we're going to offer, because different people like different things. So why not have something for all of them? But sessionability, drinkability. So we want to have our beers that people could sit there, they could savor, but they could have one, they could have two, and keep going from there. It's all about drinkability. So I was a teacher before I was a brewer. Many years ago, when I graduated college, I did everything in my life according to plan. And my mom was a teacher, my sister's a teacher, my grandfather, my aunts, uncles. So I went to school for teaching and history. My major's in history. And when I graduated college, the summer before I was going to start teaching in the fall, I got a job in a beer distributor. So I've been in New York, and it was mostly a bottle shop, but we did a lot of wholesale accounts. And I'm not kidding when we had like 400, 500 different kinds of beer on our wall. And I'd go home every day with 1 or 2 different bottles, cans, whatever, mostly bottles back then, and I would try all these different beers. Then one day I happened to be at like a coffee joint near where I went to college, Stony Brook, University of New York at Stony Brook, in Port Jefferson, Long Island, and I'm wearing a sweatshirt from a brew pub that happened to be in that town called James Bay Brewing. And I turn around my coffees to leave, and the guy behind me was wearing the same sweatshirt. So we just started talking BS, and it turned out he was the owner and head brewer. So I told him I was getting involved in beer, I liked beer, and he said, well, why don't you come down and spend a day with me? So I did, and I got hooked, and I spent any available time I had there. They convinced me to go to brewing school out in Chicago, the Seabones Institute of Technology. And it turned out actually that his wife and my mom worked together. That we didn't know at the time until after the fact. So that's pretty much how I got into it, and I got hooked. I was young enough in the career where it wasn't a hard decision. I mean, a lot of mouths dropped when I told them what I was going to be doing, cutting my salary in half to make beer, of all things. And I was just about to be offered my dream teaching job too. So on the hiring committee, it was the high school that I went to, high school that I student taught at, And they, every single person on the committee came up to me and said, we strongly advise you apply for this position. Yeah. And when I told them I was not going to, all their mouths dropped. Oh, sure, definitely. When I talk at events, we do something here called tent talks. Whenever we come out with a new beer, I have one coming up in a couple days, where we bring people in, we talk to them about the beer, the history of it, the style, the tasting profile. I've taught classes on beer and brewing. I've given guest lectures, teaching brewers, stuff like that, like how to do everything. Oh, definitely. It all comes back.